And we are back. The time is upon us now to get into the Kickoff Clash Grand Final. A best of 7 between oh my God, I'm already just like getting overheated
Seoul
here.
Philly.
Let's go. Yeah, it's just going to be the Seoul Dynasty going up against the Philadelphia Fusion. These teams have clashed before. Dynasty has had the upper hand, but Fusion have been looking great as of late. They got an absolutely dominant win just yesterday, and they've been waiting with bated breath, much like ourselves, to get into this series to figure out who their opponent's going to be. Now they know who it is. Prophet just came off the back of a damn near inaugural season grand finals clutch performance like we've seen from him in the past. He just pulls that off there on Ilios, this time to earn a spot to play against the Fusion rather than against the Fusion itself. We'll see if he still has gas in the tank, though, because that had to be a lot of energy exerted from him, from the rest of the team to make it this far.
Absolutely. I mean, playoffs Prophet is certainly here, but get ready for finals Prophet because it's been a while since we've seen Prophet in that sort of stage. Grand finals MVP in our inaugural season. That level of play, as you described, that's exactly what I saw. When you have the game slipping out of your hands, that iron grip from Prophet keeps them in and gets them into the finals. And I cannot wait because you know what, Seth? This is a must-win for one of these two teams. What I mean by that is both of our franchises between Seoul and Philadelphia Fusion have never won a title within the Overwatch League over the span of 5 years. Somebody has to take it all tonight.
And somebody will. I mean, will it be the Dynasty continuing on a tear, through the lower bracket, now into the grand final? Can they get that win? Can they once again best the Fusion? Look at the Fusion, temper them a little bit, pump the brakes, slow them down, and get the victory over them. Because, whichever way you want to cut it, we got the Spaghetti Bowl here. You've got Prophet up against the Fusion once again in a final. Who is going to be victorious? I don't know. I don't care, for that matter. I'm just excited to be able to watch it, to be able to commentate it. I'm completely unbiased in this. I just know that this is going to be an incredible final, and I cannot wait to start things. The players are getting ready. They're jumping up into the lobby, and pretty soon we'll be able to know where we're starting, what map is it going to be, how things are going to look, what are the starting rosters going to look like, though I think that's pretty predictable, at least for the Dynasty's sake. And I think we can kind of anticipate that Carpe is going to be starting there for the side of the Fusion as well. But all of those questions will be answered in just a few minutes.
I mean, the fervent leader of the Philadelphia Fusion, Carpe, he wouldn't miss it for the world. He's been waiting his entire career for this moment. 4 other times they made it to the finals. They couldn't quite get it done, and they finally will get back into the finals. You know that Carpe needs this win. He wants this win. It's been the thing that has basically eluded him this entire thing, his entire career, right? People always say, look, Carpe, can he be one of the greatest of all times? I guess he is one of the best players of all time, but he doesn't have any titles, no victories, no chips, nothing to work with. But now it could be the time for change. Backed by a star-studded rookie lineup, this is the best Philly have looked in quite some time. Last year, didn't even make it to a finals. This year, they bested the Shanghai Dragons. They bested most of the teams they came up against, had a bit of a rough patch in, I would say, their final week, but things are looking so good for this team. And I mean, Seoul Dynasty as well, off the back of what we just saw versus Shanghai, they also defeated their demons. Both teams had to beat Shanghai to get here.
Well, as we get ready to take a look at our starting rosters at the starting map and kick off this grand final, let's go ahead and hone in on our squads. First and foremost, let's take a look at the Seoul Dynasty. It just gets better and better for the Seoul Dynasty.
Smurf just playing out of his mind. Here we go again. It's the Smurf show.
They're an absolutely terrifying team.
There's a lot more playoff profit than anything else, and that should scare anyone going up against Dynasty.
Been so many times before. If he just lands this one, wow, that's even gone.
Fitz gonna drop the Dragon Strike, and takes down 3! The Dragon is massive from Fitz.
The clutch factor from the Seoul Dynasty is just incredible, honestly.
And here are our starting 5 for the Seoul Dynasty. It's exactly what we just saw. There's no reason to make any changes. There's a substitution that they can bring in. We've seen him once, but there's no reason to bust them out when you've got Prophet and Fitz operating like the duo that we have come to, expect. These guys have been on top of their game. Prophet especially going absolutely nuclear in that previous set. See if Fitz can level up his performance as well.
2020 May Melee. 2020 playoffs as well for the entire season. And now in 2022, it's time for the Kickoff Clash. Vindame's banner behind him might have fallen over, but didn't fall over as hard as Dragons did in that last matchup. Seoul Dynasty, they're ready, they're geared, they're finally back into a finals. Prophet, he's waiting for that next chip on his, next knock on his belt, I guess. Next notch on his belt, rather, I should say.
That he is, but they have a tough opponent ahead of them. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at their opponents on the opposite side of the digital arena. It is, of course, the Philadelphia Fusion.
I just think Philadelphia Fusion are on another level right now. And you can really tell in the way they're playing the game.
Masterclass by the damage dealers of the Philadelphia Fusion.
Carpe has the recon sight in over the top. Toby's down. Carpe needs a little bit more. No, he does! Gets another pick off. Looking, mono, Carpe again! Carpe's just doing whatever he wants. This is a very, very winnable fight. Now they move into the towards Eden! Fury gobbles it up in the moment!
Here we can see a replay from Imgod contributing. Oh, a ridiculous EMP cancel there.
Everything is just coming together for the Philadelphia Fusion.
The Fusion just locking it down.
I think Philly they were tremendous.
And here they are, Carpe, the veteran on the squad, going to be leading the charge alongside Aimgod, of course, who's been in the scene for quite some time. But they are flanked by their rookies, Zest, Bellisria, and Fixa, all who in their own right have looked utterly incredible here in the APAC region.
Absolutely. You look at this team, finally back in the final themselves as well. Like I said, somebody's got to win it tonight. 2018 Stage 2, 2018 Season Playoffs, 2020 Summer Showdown, 2020 Countdown Cup, and 2022 finally the Kickoff Clash as well. For both teams, last finals appearance was in 2020. It has been so long for everybody. Carpe looking for his first ever ring, first ever chip. Rookies flanking him, superstars all around. Seoul Dynasty, many veterans. Vindame, new to the scene. Stalker, played one game so far, but he'll be happy to support his team. Smurf, two-time champion on this roster as well. Seoul, they have the players, they have the mechanics, they have the legacy. Fusion, they're building their legacy starting today.
We'll see if they can get it done. Carpe, like you said, looking for that first tournament victory. As we'll see if today can be the day. They might have a very long road ahead of them, a best of 7. If it goes the distance, which I sure as hell hope it does, it can be exhausting. It is no longer a sprint. It's not a 3-0. Yeah. It is a marathon. And you can be damn sure that no one is going to be walking away with this one for free. If it comes down to somehow a team sweeping here, I will be absolutely flabbergasted at the level of play that will have been needed to pull off that achievement. So we'll see if anyone can get it done. But I'm thinking that this one very well could go the distance.
I mean, this is the Spaghetti Bowl, right? Except, as I've said at the start of the season, it's the MasterChef edition. No longer is this a meme.
Yeah.
Last year, it was a bit of a meme. This time around, it is legitimately the best two teams. 6-4, the all-time record. Seoul leading 6. Philadelphia on the 4 side. 2 matches separate these two teams. 10 overall games played. And by the way, Eastern Division play-ins last year was this exact match. Philly won 3-1 to get them into the season playoffs. And now they face up again in the most important match of the season so far in the Eastern Division. Maps have been set. It is Lijiang Tower. Fusion have chosen this one, and look at it. It is going to be all 7. Let's hope it is. I want to go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, we start on Lijiang Tower, then we'll move into hybrid, escort, push, control, escort, push. We'll see if we can make it that far. My fingers, my toes, everything that I can cross is crossed right now that we can go that far. But for now, we'll go ahead and zone in on Control Center. And we'll have
Get ready,
pause.
folks. bit of a pause to start things out with. I mean, hey, just get the anticipation up. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what all the fans have been waiting for. If you've been a Seoul fan this entire time, your roster was built for success off the backs of Lunatic High all the way back in Season 1, pre-season. You had Yu Jae Hong, you had Miro, you had Toby. You got Toby back. And off the back of Toby, you've made a finals. Now you've got a star-studded lineup. Is it your turn? 3 finals appearances, of this one being your 3rd. Fusion, on the other hand, 5 finals. This is your 5th one. You've had the taste of victory so close before. From the EQO clutch, the 3-4 result versus Paris that you nearly had, 2-4 versus the Shock as well in Countdown Cup. You've been to a season final, so have Seoul Dynasty. The pain ends for one of our franchises tonight. Somebody has got to win. Winner takes all.
That they do. We'll see who is going to be victorious, who's going to be holding their heads high at the end of this all, and who is going to be waiting for the next tournament cycle to try to then be able to take home a championship win. The countdown has begun. They're going back into the game, so enough little teasing. It is time to go ahead and get a taste of these 2 squads as they get ready to square off against each other. Control center again to begin.
Achilles, you better get a taste, because I'll tell you what, guys. The sauce is prepped. The pasta is boiling. Dinner is now open for service. And you, my friends, have ringside seats for this title bout. I don't care if you're just waking up in Philly or going to bed in Seoul. It's time to get wild and kick off this clash in style. Achilles, map number 1 of the Eastern Division Finals here. Lijiang Tower. Let's get into it.
And here we go. The gates are going to open. We'll take a look, and it's going to be Smurf coming back through with the Reinhardt Prophet on the Mei once more. Soldier Genji out for the side of the Philly Fusion. And Creative as well, sticking for a moment with that Baptiste, but it seems like they're going to see the comp, and they decide to swap it up wholesale.
Yep, the Balustrade Doom is there. We saw this versus Shanghai yesterday. The Doom was the counter to the Ryan coming on in, and Smurf saying none of that. We are going to go straight towards the Zarya. We will not fall prey to the Doom. The one thing that they are not doing, they being Seoul, is there is no Reaper to punish this Doom. Carpe with first blood.
Yep, hungry for that ring. Gets first blood. Creative going to be taken down. Says popping that deflect, and Carpe finds another. Smurf is well going to be eliminated. The dash forward, looking to get the punish there on a Prophet. He will manage to make his way out to safety, but the cap is first and foremost going to be coming through for the side of the Philly Fusion.
That's Philly Fusion as well, maintaining control. They didn't have to go back to spawn to change the composition at all. So, superior positioning here. How long can they keep this Doom going, though? Not the best matchup for the Doom, but again, no Reaper on the opposite side to punish. Zest, no bubbles to work through. He has to rely on Balustrade to make space as he would on the Winston. Zest versus Prophet, the 2 biggest carries on either team.
Carpe taking quite a bit of damage there. Side-kick slam forward, just going to be absorbed by the bubble out from Smurf. So they start getting some position here on the point. Vinham going to be taking a nap. Can they collapse on top of the enemy? Lucio, they absolutely can. It's actually going to be Aimgod who lobs that nade in from a distance, gets the final tag to get rid of the enemy Lucio. Balustrade, however, will be traded out. Flip not yet there for the side of the Dynasty, but they are certainly looking for it as Smurf continues to play up front and build up that energy. Looks for Zest. They'll force him off the point, and that should be the flip coming through, but last second, there's going to be the contest. The Nano now coming out. Carpe pushing around the corner, finds Fit, stops him from getting that health pack, takes him out of the fight. He'll have that attack visor should he find it necessary, and Prophet is not going to get much value there with that pulse bomb lobbed in. Doesn't get a target, doesn't get a kill, doesn't find too much damage either, but the Dynasty have bought enough space to go ahead and open up the point. They get the flip, they take control away from the Fusion. They find themselves at 54%. We'll see if they can retake quickly.
Trying to cap this one, or rather trying to catch up in cap so far, but Balustrade putting the pressure on, so plenty of ultimates to play through, the blade available as well, but it's going to be the visor from Carpe first.
Opens it up, he's looking for some targets there. Smurf going to be taking the lion's share of that damage, but absorbs quite a bit of it with the bubbles. Sound barrier going to be dropped by Fixa. Meteor strike out from Balustrade, takes it out to safety, drops down, now comes in, dives forward, and ends up being snatched up by the grab from Smurf. They had him anti it out, they thought they could get the elimination, but they cannot. Instead, it's going to be 4 quick kills, now looking for the 5th. There it is, coming through for the side of the Dynasty. They will hold the point. They're catching up now as far as that percentage is concerned.
And now that we've finally gotten past that Doomfist as well, Balustrade going back towards the Winston. He didn't want to have to play Doomfist, but he was correct in the read upon the fact that Smurf was probably going to come out on the Rhine. This is going to be a much better matchup for Balustrade. Double grab kills from Smurf as well. Fixer already used the sound barrier earlier, so could not save the team from the grab. Vindame still has that sound barrier available for Zest.
Fit's going to be taking a nap, put quite a bit of damage down onto him. The bubbles out from Smurf, keep him protected, allow him to escape. In the lead now by 10% is the side of the Dynasty. The blade at the ready here from Zest. The Nano nearly there to couple with it. See if they can break over the point, but Carpe instead takes it into his own hands. The Helix Rocket connects on the Prophet. They get rid of the enemy Tracer. Nano going to be used on the Smurf. He charges forward, high energy on the Zarya, at least mid-range energy here on the Zarya. as he will force them back. The loss of Aim God going to be a bit too much for them to deal with, and now with Vixa out of the fight as well, the Fusion have to reset, and they are running out of time.
The problem is they didn't nanoblade there, right? So Vindame still holds the sound barrier. We're going to get into final fight territory. They would have loved to have forced the sound barrier out of Vindame already, but he'll have it still. So this is going to have to be the nanoblade, but can it find any value? Prophet has a pulse as well, and we know how good he's been on that so far. Maybe not on this map, but certainly the previous series. Is going to miss. That's a positive for Fusion.
Doesn't get that connection. Now the blade's going to be pulled instantly. The deflect has to be used, and Zest pulls back over towards the point, plays in with the rest of the squad. A couple swipes forward. They're on a Prophet, gets rid of the shielding from the sound barrier, but otherwise doesn't find a kill. Belosria nanoed up, leaps in, manages to find creative, doubles down, gets a second kill. Now on the Fitz. Is that going to be good enough? Is at least good enough for them to get the flip? They will go ahead, surrender control over to the Dynasty. Fusion now in control, but they still have 40% to gain if they want to win this round.
A brilliant comeback there as well, just the fact that, okay, we pull out the Nano Blade, the pullback from Seoul Dynasty in return with the sound barrier being used by Vindame. Now we're back to mostly a neutral ground, but Fitz does have a Visor advantage. Small over Carpe. Carpe can catch up, but he needs time. It's the grab that could be the difference maker. Fixer doesn't quite have the sound barrier available just yet.
Counter cap getting ready to come through. Belosria going to be antied up for the moment, and he cannot use the primal. Prophet manages to find the elimination. He thought he was going to be able to safely escape. Now the flip is back into control of the Dynasty with the overtime bleeding away. Zest touches, gets the contest there, but there is the elimination. Grab going to be used, catches Fixa, and that will be the closeout on the round. They let him get close, but not too close. Dynasty close at 185%.
You can see that both teams are looking to dive each other's back lines, or at least put a pressure onto the cores of each side, but it ends up being Belosria that Force does not primal. Could have just primaled in the backline while he was there, decided to jump backwards, jump away towards his own team, doesn't pop the primal. Fixer also dies at 95% towards the sound barrier, so could not save himself or the team during the grab, and it ends up being a couple of kills coming in. Smurf grab off the point, stop the Fusion from touching at all. And a very close opening round to get us going in this Kickoff Clash finals here at Killigos, but we are now moving into what seems to be Night Market. So we're past Control Center, another opportunity for the Rhine, and this time Fusion do not read it. It would have to be Belosria going back to spawn almost immediately to find that Doom to get that counter.
Yeah, instead, Dynasty just gaining the position on the point, just going ahead, occupying that as the swaps do come through, so a bit of a reversal this time around. As the Fusion have to make the replying swaps. Pushing on the corner, Fix taking quite a bit of damage there. The point now unlocking. We'll see if they can contest this or if it's just going to be a cap given over for free. So far, no one really making their way far enough forward. They're just trying to get people into position. You saw Aim God there trying to move up into a flank spot. Can't manage to make it though. Zest going to be forced off the side of the map there for a moment. He's got the dash. He's going to be safe. TP in, Carpe looking for some damage, looking for a target as Zest is falling lower and lower. Belosria going to be taking a nap, but yet again the dash is going to be there. Genji gets back on a solid ground, but Vindame chases, finds the elimination. Now he's looking for another one with the help of Fitz. They will take down Fixa. There's no way in hell that Vindame is getting back up. Ends up sailing off the side of the map, but the kill onto Aim God. The supports are gone, and it has to be a reset here from Fusion.
And I have to say as well, Fusion were in position to go for the touch. I expected maybe Belosria just to dive on in, but the touch does not end up happening, so it's 30% plus for the Seoul Dynasty now. I also have to credit the fact that Seoul's read in this matchup as well is to not play the BAP for creative. They have to play the Ana here because the Ana is a great counter to the Doom, whereas the BAP does nothing versus the Doom. So that is a really nice adaptation coming through from Seoul to get ready for the Doom.
Wall coming up, Prophet looking to cut off half of the positioning here from the side of the Fusion. Belosria now going to be antied out, slept a moment beforehand, and makes it around the corner with his life intact. He's going to put up the arms, try to stay safe, but even with the reduced damage taken, it's not going to be enough to save him. Prophet continues to chase forward, getting these right clicks woven in, and now it's going to be 25% away from the Blizzard.
This is the kind of thing with the Ryan comps as well, right? You're playing this brawl. If you win the opening couple of fights, or at least just one fight, you start snowballing unbelievably out of control. The ultimates on this comp are so good. I mean, everything's just amazing, right? The Blizzard team are coming up online pretty soon. Nano should be able to save Smurf. He's in trouble. Creative holds.
Carpaint coming out of that Wraith form, but there's the visor. Yep, and oh dear, yeah, Vindame receiving the nano boost. Didn't quite see how that one went down, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to be able to win the fight quite handedly. And now at 99% or 90%, this very well could just be the end of it. 3 members now waiting to try to respawn. Fix are going to have to try to go for the touch. He's starting to work his way over towards the point. Gets booped away for just a moment. Needs to get himself in through the window. They manage to get the touch. Carpe tagging the point now. Overtime starting to bleed down. They don't have enough room to get in. The ice wall cutting them off now. Carpe going to be eliminated. It looks like one after the other. They may just end up dropping. The Blizzard cuts off the front of the point. They get the freeze here onto Aim God. The Fire Strike will finish him off. The Nano not going to be able to see the light of day. The sound barrier might be there, but so is the Shatter. Puts Belastria down to the ground. He has his work cut out for them. They need Zest. They need him to be healed up. They need him to pull a blade and pull off an absolute miracle. But Prophet finds Fixa. The right-click headshot goes through. Gets rid of the enemy Lucio. Aim God waddling his way back as quickly as he possibly can. Belastria narrowly makes it in once more. Now Zest has arrived. The blade is there. The Nano's out. He finds Creative. Is that going to be enough, though? Slicing and dicing. He's trying to cut his way through the Reinhardt. He will eventually find Smurf, but they still need to contest this point. Prophet is there. He's in the ice block. Fit's going to be antied out. Ends up going down. Prophet trying to buy some time as they try to hound down Vinheim as well. Vinheim will kill off Aim God, and just like that, the blade helps them clutch it out. The Fusion are not done yet. They get themselves on the board.
My God, the final touch coming in from Belastria to keep it alive. The ice wall nearly stopped them. Carpe as well in there waiting for Zest. EQO might not be on his team right now. He might not be on the Fusion, but the soul of the Genji Blade clutch still lives within the Fusion indeed. What an amazing comeback coming through from the Fusion, but also the Seoul Dynasty used their Blizzard so aggressively off the point. They could have just Blizzarded the point itself. That might come to cost Prophet a little bit later on. Still 99-27. Still the lead. Nano coming back on life and creative. Would like to not see that on Vinheim again.
Once more the point going to be capped. The OT will start bleeding away. They at least get a reset on that timer. Carpe trying to dive in deep. Has this pulse pump at the ready, but he's going to be antied out. The recall was already used. Him got it. Carpe Fixa now gone, and that is going to be it. Zest this time. I don't think he can pull a rabbit out of a hat. He'll dash forward, but the beam is there from Smurf. The damage from Prophet. They will get the elimination. It'll take them a little bit longer. They only get up to 30% though. Seoul Dynasty will take the first map of Lijiang Tower, with the second round being 100% to 30. They kick things off with a map win.
Almost a brilliant comeback there from the Fusion. Kept things alive, but Mountain was too high to climb for them, unfortunately. Seoul Dynasty, massive lead comeback. One more fight. Smurf on the Zarya as well. Brilliant neutral play. Still though, decent showing from Fusion strategically as well, understanding the matchups. Unfortunately, they were not prepared for the second round of the Smurf Ryan coming on through. They were expecting, okay, maybe Smurf will honor the Winston duel. Nope. Seems like Lijiang is now just a full Ryan map. Gladiators did it first. Lijiang also was in Shanghai's hands for the triple Ryan. It didn't work out for Shanghai. Philly were ready for it, but unfortunately, Seoul Dynasty, that much better in this particular matchup, at least in the first map.
Well, it's a solid start here for the side of the Dynasty. Fusion, though, now have their map pick. We'll see where they decide to take us for hybrid. I have my thoughts that it's certainly not going to be Midtown, but we'll find out what it's going to be when we come back from the break, so don't go anywhere, guys, as Grand Finals continues in just a few minutes. And we are back in just one map into this best of 7 grand finals between the Seoul Dynasty and the Philadelphia Fusion. Dynasty able to draw first blood. They take Lijiang Tower 2-0. Fusion now have their map pick as we get ready to go into hybrid. And as I mentioned, it's not going to be Midtown. It's going to be Eichenwalde. In fact, where just yesterday, I do believe, they were able to best the Shanghai Dragons on this map. So we'll see how well they look and whether or not the Dynasty are going to be able to take a stretch lead or if it all gets tied up 1-1.
I gotta say, it's really, really 900 IQ by the Fusion to lose map 1 to guarantee.
I was thinking about making this joke.
that the second map was guaranteed to not then be Midtown, because if they get to pick the second map, then they can't. They're not going to pick Midtown. So I think that's pretty smart by the Fusion, right? Just purposely lose the first map, guarantee no Midtown. Yeah, it's brilliant. And then from here on out, we'll see what happens. But no, realistically speaking, though, Seoul played that matchup so well. I mean, they kind of the second round in particular, the fact that I don't even know if I would call it a misread from the Fusion, but Dynasty just making the gamble to say, let's do the Ryan again. See if Fusion are prepared. Fusion with the late swap costing them the early cap, allowing Seoul Dynasty to get so much extra progress. I mean, helped them a lot. It really helped them a lot. And by the way, this is the only hybrid in this entire 7-map pool. And even if we do go to 8 maps, if there's a draw, it's not going to be hybrid. So, yeah, officially, we are out of Midtown territory. Fusion, you can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yep, and we can go back to not discussing the Midtown incident. We go focus in now on good old Eichenwalde.
I will never live it down. I will never let it go.
I think that they would rather forget, though. But we'll see what happens here as well. That's just going to go off the side of the map with the Junkrat, but that's fine. He's got plenty of time. Make his real selection. Just entertaining the fans a little bit, Attackers
incoming in 30 seconds.
See if there's anything interesting here so far. Prophet's like, I'll do it too. And he'll do it in spawn, I guess. As standard Bellis Ria, Winston into Zest Genji. Yeah, normal stuff coming through. No Fury just yet. By the way, I think Eichenwalde, as a map choice, we're forcing more of a Winston-styled map rather than something where Zarya would have a lot of success on a flat ground. You could definitely still play the Zarya here, but with B being how it is with a high ground, low ground play, definitely a good map for the Winstons. I think Smurf is also happy with that.
Okay. Oh, nice deflect there from Zest. Saying, none of that Widow open shot nonsense here. Sends it back to the spawn room, swap over to the Soldier. Now we'll have the mirrored compositions as they get moved forward. And it's not a very forward position here for the Fusion. They're actually playing quite far back. A lot of damage there onto Zest. A lot of damage onto Smurf as well. MN3, however, going to be taken out of the fight. Fits with the Helix Rockets, finds the connection. There's a big window of opportunity now as the DPS have been broken down. Wrapping around the backhand side. Oh, it's just like Christmas for a Winston player. You swing into the side room, you say, oh look, it's both the supports. The cleanup will come through. Fixit will send Kratos off the side of the map at his dying breath, but that will be the cap coming in onto point A, and a massive time bank established for the side of the Dynasty, 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Creative should get the forward spawn here as well, the good spawn to instantly get back onto the payload. Fitz at a 4K there, was looking for the A stolen by Prophet, that's fine. 4 will be enough. We'll get him plenty of ult charge. Definitely ahead of MN3, who was the first play picked up. Credit to Creative for landing that sleep down that we talked about. Creative as the Ana player for the Seoul Dynasty. Always fantastic sleep darts. And that's what's going to open the door here. Strangely, though, despite losing the fight, AimGod and Creative still pretty neck and neck as far as the nano boost go.
Very true. Just a couple percent separating them. Bill's really going to be slept as he hits the low ground. Smurf instead trying to occupy himself with the high ground, but he'll also be taking a nap. Here's a skin idea, Avro. What do you think about this? Pajama Party Winston. When you get slept in midair, he lands and he's got a little pillow. He's got a little pillow and he's just like taking a little nap there.
What is the I think, and on the pajama, the pattern is like the monkey face emote, but with the Winton thing. I don't know. Is that too memey? Is that taking it too far? Or is that just perfect? Who knows? Who's to say?
I think it's just perfect. And I think when he ults, he's got pillows on his hands. It's like you're having a pillow fight, and he's just smacking everybody around with pillows. Jesus. This is $1 million idea, Overwatch League. I'll expect my, or Overwatch, I'll expect my check eventually when that skin gets made.
Mid-season Manda skin. There you go.
Hey, maybe. Creative in the meantime, though, going to be taken down, but Fitz trades it back. Helix Rockets once more finding their target of MN3 in the cart. For the most part, has been proceeding forward without much competition. Has not really been slowed up too much here. And the ults, very much getting stacked up for either side. 5 currently for the side of the Dynasty. Zest, the only one not having
push for Seoul
at the ready. It has been a very free push. Now the ante goes out on 2, and Smurf, that is his target, gets onto AimGod, finds the elimination. Fixit just limited too late there with a sound barrier. Cannot keep his cohort support in the fight. And 3 going to be taken down as well. And Dynasty can just continue to push forward. The cart is still moving unhindered, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Smurf has just been a god so far. He made such good use of the Primal. He bounces aim god around, juggles him, prevents him from receiving the sound barrier. And where's the touch? Ballasria missed the jump. MN3 still gets her in time.
They managed to get there in time, and now it's going to be an Nanovisor waiting for them with Fitz. I mean, just shielded up. Mows down 2. There's the DPS eliminated. Zest not going to be given the opportunity to use that blade here on this point, it would seem. Ballasria taking a nap. He's within contest range, so the cart does not glide through yet, but as they clean up the enemy Winston, they will keep it going. Now breaking through into the castle with 4.5 minutes plus in the time bank. Aim God going to get staggered as well. He just cannot make his exit.
No, I mean, Smurf will go down sleeping, but at least he's still alive at the moment. What a weird scenario for Fusion to be in on B. I mean, they had come up to 5 ultimates themselves, never really forced ultimates, so at least kill Prophet. That'll slow down Seoul Dynasty. But still over 4 minutes. I mean, we're expecting a good time bank here. Ballasria missing his jump, by the way, to contest on B. Probably had cost him the final engage, but to be honest with you, Fusion shouldn't have been letting Seoul free push that entire time anyway.
Prophet just going to be coming back in here with the rest of the squad, looking for a target for that pulse bomb. Saw a couple whiffs from him, trying to get those sticks on Lijiang Tower. Not that it mattered too much for the team in the grand scheme of things. Murph getting jumped on, falling low. Blade to the back, Zest hounded down as they find the DPS yet again. MN3 and Zest both eliminated. The stick goes through. He gets Ballasria though. Doesn't lead to a kill, but Creative will find Aim God all the same. Ballasria narrowly makes it back into the spawn room doors to keep himself alive and look for the reset. The cart in the meantime rounding the final corner, still with 3.5 minutes left to go. Smurf, the Primal online, the Nano about to be there for Creative, and Fitz is not far off from a visor either.
What an insane pulse bomb. I mean, it wasn't even intended for Ballasria, but Ballasria catches on his way out. Now he's dead. Fitz is popping off with the Nano. He doesn't even have the visor yet. He might not have to use it.
He almost gets Aim God. Now the visor comes through. MN3 going to be the recipient, but he instantly gets melted down. The cleanup comes through, and it is a massive time bank here. I think by far the best that we have seen on Eichenwalde for a finish. 3 minutes and 10 seconds in 2022 in my Overwatch League. Dynasty say yes. Yes, it is. They get the completion here on the map, and the Fusion have their work cut out for them.
And there's a concept strategically in this game, and that is that you cannot allow your opponents to get away with objective or a win or any sort of small victory without having to pay for it. And what we saw on B, I'm going to have to go back to that point again because that was a difference maker for me. We can talk about the fact that A was a roll, unfortunate, but it is a neutral. Sometimes the neutral happens that way. Somebody gets slept, somebody gets picked. The 5v4 into 5v3 advantage is too much, but what about B? Both teams had ultimates. Seoul are happy just to free push. Fusion, no contest. It took until the final fight on B for ultimates to start to get used properly. And Fusion had to run their soldier player to touch, and he's instantly going to get killed if he has to be the one to touch. Again, Ballasria, no touch there. Himself missing the jump through the window. It happens. It's unfortunate. Philadelphia Fusion as well, having to defend up against a 4-minute 30 time bank on C. It's just too hard. And then Seoul Dynasty coming up into Ultimate, Smurf on Primal, Nano Visor, everything's still there. Seoul Dynasty in incredible finals form. They're looking unbelievably warmed up. I don't know if it's that Shanghai game that did it to him, but I guess if it takes you 5 maps to beat Shanghai in the manner in which you had to do it, you better be warm. You better be fired up.
Yeah. Like I said, is there going to be gas in the tank still? It seems like, yeah, there is. Maybe they're in an electric vehicle and they had enough time to recharge. I don't know. Enough about that anyway. The dive starting to come through from the side of the Fusion. So we have the Tracers off the rip. Ballasria going to be antsing out for the second time so far here on this attack, and this time they will be able to get the elimination. Ballasria out of the fight. That's Fusion gathered up now in the side room with Prophet, hammering them with those pulse pistols, just looking to build up towards that pulse bomb.
It's Creative again, you know, opening up the fight for the Seoul Dynasty, this time on the defense. Bionade collecting the kill into Ballasria. Prophet just knows how to play towards his limits, collecting a lot of ult charge. Still alive currently. Looking for that pulse bomb. Zest trying to match. That's actually a kill to Fitz. So 5v4 this time for Fusion.
Yep, they managed to segregate Fitz away from the rest of the team. Bionade in response will force them back for the time being. That does help keep Smurf alive for this recontest, but the first tick going to be snatched up here by the Fusion. The progress that they can get is going to be very much welcomed. See though, Prophet moving forward, going for the last second contest. Will touch in onto the point. Bit of damage going his way, still holds onto the recall. The rest of the team now coming through. Belzria going to be taking a nap as Creative manages to get the sleep. Pulse Bomb not going to find the elimination, but it might not matter because Aimgod's still going to be taken down by Prophet with a Pulse Pistol.
Oh!
But there's the stick,
What?
and Zest, he will answer back in a major way. Creative and Prophet both now going to be out of the fight as Fixa got rid of the enemy Soldier 76 as well. Vendhame, so low HP, cannot escape. Smurf will be the last one getting cleaned up here.
Wow.
Cleaned up here as he fishes for a little bit of extra primal charge, but man, Zest went off on this attack.
Zest don't care nothing about any other rookie. He wants that Rookie of the Year award indeed. How many kills was that? Nearly like 4 frags or something like it. I believe he even stole the mini health pack away from Vendhame as well to secure the kill. A Pulse Bomb stick on the Prophet. How do you do that? How do you stick another Tracer? That was incredible. Coming through from Zest, the young rookie for Fusion. Gives them the opportunity to save the fight when it was looking so dire. Talk about Prophet clutching. That was a Zest clutch.
All right, Zest, you know, as a rookie, he's been watching Prophet for many a year, just like we have, and I'm sure that when you share a similar hero pool as the GOAT himself, you pick up a thing or two when you're studying the tapes. And we have seen Zest go God mode, say, you know what, I don't want to lose. We saw that yesterday. We've seen that from him before. So far, we're seeing it from him here on this Eichenwalde attack.
How creative.
Getting juggled around, throws out the Bionade, keeps himself alive, and he's like, oh, I don't usually get to play this position too often as an Ana. Adds himself up onto the high ground, and now can just go ahead and keep everybody topped up. For now, the cart going to be contested from above.
And they're bunkering up now. You'll see Vendhame there as well. Smurf hanging up. Okay, Fitz going down is not ideal. They have a lot of ultimates. Surely Seoul can use something here. Nano to play with.
That it is, the dive in there from Smurf, now going to be antied out, pops the Primal Rage, he's going into the back lines, will finish off Aimgod again, the beat a little bit too late there from Fixa to try to keep his co-support alive. Juggling MN3, he's trying to send him off the side of the map, has not managed to make it happen yet, but MN3's got nowhere left to go, ends up dying all the same. That is going to be the cart not moving forward, so while the time bank starts off nicely for the Fusion off that point A cap, they're not finding progress right now during these skirmishes.
Yeah, this is so much different to what Fusion had on their defense, right? Fusion were very passive, allowed a lot of free cart push here. Seoul Dynasty active, using ultimate straight away. They lose Fitz, doesn't matter. Nano Smurf, he's got a Primal. And again, like you sort of mentioned, the Primal onto Aimgod. Fixer can't save Aimgod. Ends up being a lost fight for Fusion. 3 minutes remaining, they only get 130 from capping. Fitz on a big one. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, hello. Okay, has to throw down the biofield, grab the mini pack, and that's going to be the visor expiring. In the meantime, M3, he gets an antidote up, and he just takes down Smurf. Now Prophet going to be dead as well. Bionade out onto 2. Zest will fall, Creative finding the elimination, but that's as good as it gets for them in this fight. One member lost, the team kill comes through. Fusion now opening up space to get this cart rolling.
Yeah, Fitz going for a very big gamble on the big flank. Unfortunately, doesn't go well for him. And the rest of the Seoul Dynasty gets shut down as well. A double kill for Aimgod as we're pushing towards more ultimates. Belastria and MN3 come up next, but it's Seoul that currently hold the cards. They have their own nano, they still have sound barrier, they can defend pretty comfortably on the sound barrier alone.
Sound barrier used aggressively as they take the fight over towards the side of the Fusion. The stick is there this time from Prophet. It's MN3, doesn't get any additional value, but as he chases forward with the help of the rest of the squad, they will be able to clean up the supports. Fitz in the meantime deals with Belastria, who does wisely hold on to the Primal Rage. Zest has to go for the reset as well. Ults are there, coming online now. The visor nearly online for MN3, so Fusion have some tools to work with.
At this rate, Philadelphia Fusion can no longer match the same time bank as Seoul Dynasty, although we were probably expecting that to be the case anyway. Goal for Fusion here is just a cap with anything. Ideally, above 1 minute, you wouldn't want to draw only scenario here. Zest still gets a kill.
Yep, doesn't get the Pulse Bomb stick this time on the Prophet, but still will be able to pistol him down. Smurf in a rough spot, but has the Primal Rage, and instantly MN3 evaporates. Aimgod as well, going to get dropped as Fitz was nanoed up, manages to find that elimination. Belastria, he's taking what feels like the 8th or 9th nap of this map, and he will be hounded down yet again, just not in a position to actually use that Primal to stay in the fight. They have to just go for a reset once more.
Yeah, they just lose too many here. I mean, Fix is down as well. You could Primal, but what's your chance of actually winning? The unfortunate thing here with the Fusion is they have to retake some control on the actual castle as Payload starts moving backwards. It's still in an okay position, still on the bridge. Once it's off the bridge, that's when things get problematic. So good of Zest to keep the Payload still in action, and that will now allow Fusion to think about how they want to move across the map. Belastria on the high ground now. Smurf's traded places. Smurf's on the low ground. Fitz is in the Philly
Fitz is
spawn.
going for a flank. He's going for this flank once more. Now it's been sussed out, though,
and
the Bionade connects. And this did not go to plan yet again. Fitz going to be picked off. It's a major boon now for the side of the Fusion as they turn their sights back over towards the cart. The rest of the members still looking to join in, though. They sprint their way over, escorted by Fixa, giving him that speed boost, and Prophet going to get picked off. Aimgod just sniping him out. Pulse bomb held, Vinheim falling low, sliver of HP remaining for him. Zest dashes in, gets that kill, gets the pulse bomb stick, and this man once more says, nope, I don't want to lose. I want to get the point B cap, please. Fitz only able to find one. The cleanup is there, and that should basically be it. With Prophet dying, yes, they will get a little bit of a time bank bump up, but like you said, above a minute is really what they need.
I mean, thank the light of the 7 that only a pulse bomb was required for the Philly Fusion to cap. Fitz going on a flank twice in a row. Doesn't work. It gets punished. It's hard to explain what he's looking for. It's just greedy, you know. Maybe it could work out if he gambles correctly and it works, fine. But losing it is just so poor. Pulse bomb from Prophet connects. He's just competing with Zest. Fusion still have a lot of other ultimates, so they can keep in this fight if they want to.
Yep, the fadeaway and Prophet is just playing so very elusively. Now the Primal Rage will come through. He blinks over to the side. Bellisria continuing to pursue, but trying to get rid of Prophet here is so very difficult. Zest in the meantime comes up with yet another crucial pick. Smurf going to be taken out. Vixa will find Prophet in the end. The cart once more moving as Fusion are 5.
They have to get a really good fight coming up because double creative and Vinheim supports are coming online. Smurf as well for the Primal. Bellisria has already used this Primal, so can't use that to stay in the fight. Philadelphia Fusion have one good attempt here, and they lose Aim God. They might have to reset, yeah, because you don't want to be pushing without your support. But we are heading to final fight. This is going to be the very last fight, and it has to be perfect for the Fusion. Unfortunately, though, Seoul have found the time to get 4 ults.
That they have. And Prophet, I mean, we've seen how quickly he can build up these pulses, so it's not that far off from being 5. Zest hounding him down, though, is looking to get that early elimination. Open up the card a little bit more here for his squad, but can't quite finish him off. They're looking for the overtime finish and then a play for a draw. We'll see if they can make it happen, or if the Dynasty will be able to successfully hold. Both teams have a plethora of tools to try to utilize. The pulse bomb at the ready. Zest playing forward. He's looking for creative. He's going to be anti. Takes the recall. Goes back up to 130. Fitz going to be taken down first and foremost. Now the attack visor comes in. The nano layered on top of it. Creative going to be out of the fight. Vinheim drops the beat. Shields up the rest of the squad as best he possibly can. Prophet still alive, still in the fight. Smurf tries to make his exit and successfully does so. But there's a pulse bomb waiting on either side. Smurf eventually does end up getting dropped. Fitz now exiting back through the spawn, just rejoins the fight, gets the nano visor, finds 2 instantly. He's looking for another one. The bubble comes down though, it blocks his line of sight on a fix it. He can't get the kill, but Prophet damn sure can.
Soul elimination
now. Bellisria going to be taken down, and yes they do. Zest, despite his best efforts, his wants to win, cannot clutch this out. Seoul Dynasty will successfully hold at C, and they will move up 2-0 in this grand final.
My goodness, Zest versus the entire world nearly puts the team on his back again. It's 5 versus 3, and Seoul Dynasty just have to hold on for dear life. They're waiting for Fitz, waiting for Creative to come on back. Brilliant dive from Zest and also Bellisria to get Creative down. Fitz, no idea how he dies, but Fitz is consistently somehow dead at the beginning of these fights. Twice, it was because he was going for a gamble flank. That time, just got outplayed. Don't know how else to explain it to you. But still, I mean, the fact that they survived long enough. Smurf is still there. The Primal helped out a lot. Sound Barrier helped out a lot. Then Fitz comes out. Nano Visor collects 2 kills. Doesn't die. Pops down the healing pad. That's what gets Seoul Dynasty the win at the end of the day. Although I do have to also say, if Philly had capped, it would have been a 0 versus 3+ minutes. Fusion could only play for a draw. They cannot win the map regardless, even if they would have capped.
Yeah, but obviously would much rather have the draw. Move forward with that, keep the score where it was, but they cannot make it happen. It's not going to occur. 2-0 lead now for the side of the Seoul Dynasty. They are halfway to being the Kickoff Clash champions. Once more, the Fusion will have their map pick for Escort. We'll see where they decide to take us when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere, guys. Slim margins here, but the Fusion just not quite being able to find purchase yet. We'll see if they can get it done on Escort when we return from the break. And welcome back, guys. 2-0 the lead now for the Seoul Dynasty. It seems like the Tigers are hungry for a Grand Finals win. The Fusion need to put a stop to it, and they need to do it soon, so they're halfway to closing out this series. Best of 7, not much more room to work with here if you're on the Fusion, especially when you're losing on your map picks. Watchpoint Gibraltar going to be the selection for Escort. We'll see if this is the difference maker.
And it really does say as well that, you know, it's belief in the diving factor. I think Zest and Bellisria have worked plenty well. We've seen examples of that, but on the other end, Smurf and Prof have been doing some, if not more, of the same. Zest probably back to Genji here. And I was going to say surprisingly good on the Tracer, but no, even on T1, he was a phenomenal Tracer player in Contenders, just hasn't had the time or the compositions or the opportunities to show much of that here. But the fact that he was, in some ways, outplaying Prophet, especially in the one-to-ones there, like the stick onto Prophet, he had a one-on-one kill as well at another point. Brilliant stuff. Both Prophet and Zest at the end of the day doing humongous things for their team, but as an entire team, looking at all 5 players combined, Smurf was an absolute god on Eichenwalde. He was to not be beaten at all. Fantastic plays across the board. And Seoul Dynasty working as a team to get a 3-minute 30 time back. I mean, I think as soon as we see that, Achilles, we know it's going to be a rough map for the Philly Fusion, because that is one of the best, if not better, kind of time banks you can possibly get on Eichenwalde, considering how hard it is to finish it.
Yep. All of the maps so far have been rather difficult to get to the end of. And it was a very strong showing there from the Dynasty, clearly very much improving on their weak points. We saw them get held there at the very end, 0.05 meters by the Shanghai Dragons. They say, not again. Both of these teams, speaking of Shanghai Dragons, have bested that squad on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We just got to see the Dynasty do it in our previous matchup. See how the Fusion fare now. Whether or not they've taken away a decent amount of knowledge after watching the Dynasty play that matchup.
And we didn't really get to see it all. I think we finished the map on B, right? So that's something to consider here as well. MN3, I think part of the reason you want to go to Gibraltar is the MN3 factor. We've seen him versus Lip yesterday. We'll see him versus Fitz now. And as we've mentioned in a previous broadcast, Dia from the Valiant considers MN3 to be the best Widowmaker player in this region. So there's a time for him to prove himself once more. Yeah, there's time for him to prove himself. It would be here, but he's going to get first blooded by Fitz, so that will be now Seoul taking command.
Good opening kill here from Fitz. The cart for now going to be contested in the underpass, just at the top of the ramp. As the dive comes in, Aim God going to be antied out. Prophet gets on top of him. Smurf going to be taking a nap for now, but there's no one there to try to pressure him out. Zest as well, following the shield bash from Vinheim, finding the elimination, and Fitz can just spray down. Unscoped left click for the kill into Bellisria.
This might be a cap.
I mean, that looks like it certainly should be. No one really can contest, even if Zest goes diving in there with the Genji. He can get the touch in time, but he's not going to last very long. Again, it's a massive time bank for the Dynasty.
Basically a tempo momentum cap, right? They just kill a bunch of players. No reset there, sadly, for the Fusion. The last few players have to hide away in the car wash. When Bellisria is one of the last players dead, he's not going to be there alive to contest. If you don't have a tank alive, well, there's no chance for you to defend any further. MN3 in trouble again as Smurf just dies up. This is more and more momentum for the Seoul Dynasty. And ultimates haven't even been a fact yet, but Seoul Dynasty are definitely hitting ultimates. Except for Aimgod.
Except for the Nano. I mean, Aimgod has had a hell of a lot more damage to try to rectify there with his healing. So
yeah, his team's taking more damage for sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's also been nailing Smurf with a couple of sleep darts so far. I believe he's gotten him 3 times on what little we have seen of this Gibraltar as things have been speeding along. Bellisria as well, going to be taking a bit of a nap. The ante goes out. That's going to force the primal from him. He's into the back lines, looking for Fitz, grapples over, doesn't go for the mini pack, tucks into the side room, and now we'll pop the infra site as the call comes in. They say, Bellisria, we need you back over by the cart. Smurf finding an elimination, finds the second. Aimgod going to be taken down now. Zest falling as well. And, I mean, they're just playing around this so perfectly. Fitz says, no, it's fine. Like I can deal with the Winston pressure, and the cap is going to come through, and it is just shades of Eichenwalde yet again. 5.5 minutes.
I mean, that's even one extra more minute than they had on Eichenwalde. I think on Eichenwalde it was, what, 4:30? Moving into C, cap within the next minute for a 3:30 time bank. Here we got 5:30, moving into a yet-to-be-determined cap. Some of the Philadelphia Fusion have not gotten their first ultimate yet. I think this is Zest's first blade. You need Zest to be on that blade. He got taken down by Vinheim. Vinheim got his... Vinheim received a nano from Creative and just ran at Zest and got him down because he knows, hey, I got the rally. I'm going to be the carry here. I'm going to get rid of Zest, the other carry on the other team, and we're going to win the fight. it feels like Fusion have not really had any good contests. It feels like Fusion haven't really had too many fights. It's just players being picked off, and Seoul Dynasty working that tempo forward.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, good opening kill. Brigida says nice one, and it indeed was. It's the kind of kill that they need to have to open up this cart presence a bit more for the side of the Fusion. Fitz playing well into the back lines, just scoping in, looking for a target. You see Smurf there on the high ground as well, trying to relay some information as to where the enemy Widowmaker is, so that Fitz can try to get the better of MN3 once more. Currently holding on to that infra site. Hasn't felt the need to pop it yet. Diving for Prophet, going to be coming through the rally in response. He gets on top of MN3 though, and finds that elimination. Zest also going to be hounded down.
Vindame again
away with a flail. Finds the elimination onto the enemy Genji. The DPS duo broken down. Question now, MN3, do you swap off of this Widowmaker, or do you continue to try to pilot it? He's going to pop the infra site. He's going to be looking for some clutch shots to stop this cart in its tracks. They do.
Zest has to save the game again. He has to be the one to clutch this one forward. He has the blade. There's not a lot to stop him.
MN3, he finally makes his way out of the spawn room doors, gets the headshot there on a Prophet, tags Vindame down low, forces him to keep the shield raised and try to make his exit barrels free in the meantime. Did find creative, and there you go. That is exactly what the Fusion fans have been waiting for. As MN3 starts to come alive, but at what cost? They've already made it so very far on the map, and they still have 3.5 minutes left to go. But if you can continue putting out shots like that, I suppose that this hold is certainly possible.
Well, they have the ultimates to play through. That's a good news for Fusion because MN3 is such a high value play in terms of getting kills. Don't have to spend ultimates. Widowmaker, I think, is one of the highest value generators in the entire game of Overwatch because the neutral play of Widowmaker is simply person on the other end of my rifle dies. Nothing has to be spent for that. So, still waiting for ultimates to come on through. Seoul, rounding up to their second ring of ultimates for some of these players. Fusion.
Oh, instant
Bellisria
sleep there. Bellisria probably just screaming into the ether. How can she nap? How can she nap me? As it has happened so many damn times. Creative has been Johnny on the spot with these ult sets. Now the blade comes out. M3 opens things up, gets rid of Creative. Says, nope, no sleep darts for you. Deflection going to be used. Still a nice shot there onto Zest. And despite the pressure, Fitz will manage to survive. In the meantime, the fight is being turned. Prophet gets Bellisria. Fix are going to be gone. The headshots in. They get the finish onto the Widowmaker. And Aim God, last one standing. They cannot hold it. They drain the time bank considerably, but it's still 2 minutes and 35 at the finish of Gibraltar for the side of the Dynasty.
And that's the thing, right? Because, okay, credit to Fusion. They hold that for 3 minutes. Still a 2:35 finish. A and B was the problem here. C started to hold on. Win a couple of fights. Reset the Seoul Dynasty. MN3 gets a bit of a pop-off. Zest, kind of quiet here. I believe he only had one blade. Didn't go well from Vindame. Received the nano from Creative. It's a lot of nanos being put onto Vindame here, but Vindame is doing a pretty reasonable job of keeping Zest inside and shut down, keep the lid on the entire way through. Zest end up going towards Fitz. Gets a slash in, but Fitz escapes him. Using that hook shot. So the Seoul Dynasty work off a 5:30 time bank moving in towards C. I think it's still a pretty reasonable good cap at the end of the day, and it certainly puts pressure on the Fusion to do something similar, but man, it took them a very long time to turn on that defense. Really, really concerning for the Philadelphia Fusion so far in the series.
And it just puts that much more pressure now on this attack where they need to excel. They need to take this point A extremely quickly if they want to come close to the time bank. Because granted, it is escort. It's not going to be the same as a hybrid map. If they finish the map, no matter what, they will get that minute bump up if they finish in overtime.
I got a fact.
You want to have as much of an advantage here as possible.
I have an unfun fact. Or it depends. If you're a Seoul fan, you'll love this. If you're a Philly fan, just cover your ears for the next 3 seconds. Zest has 0 final blows.
Oh.
0. That's my unfun fact. Or if you're a Seoul fan, it's a very fun fact.
That's certainly a turn of events compared to the last map. Well, we'll see if you can
been shut down.
add anything to that count. It certainly has been. It's been the lion's share of the pressure, the weight here of getting kills has been on the shoulders of MN3, and he's widely been delivering on it pretty decently. Goes up for the pop shot there, spots Fitz, avoids getting shot in return.
I think Vindame might be one of the best rookie supports currently. He's got as many final blows as the highest final blows on all the Fusion, which is MN3. 4 for both.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Vindame's popping off. For real. Vindame actually popping off.
Man's been looking absolutely clean in his play for the most part. You know, a couple moments. A little bit of an Ajax moment on that King's Row in the last series, but other than that, he's widely been incredibly good.
Yeah. Ajax on the last map. That's right. We didn't We actually missed that one, but we caught the fact that he got an Ajax on Lijiang the day prior, so you know he'd give it, take it away. This time he's definitely giving a lot. Creative barely ahead of AimGod in this fight so far. It's pretty quiet. I don't believe anyone's been first blooded, so about a minute 15 gone. 0 deaths, 0 final blows. Pretty even. Payload is slowly making its way up, but you want to see it at the top of the hill, at the top of the car wash.
That's the problem. Is this neutral skirmishing. This neutral skirmishing, it's so beneficial to the side of the Dynasty. They don't really care if they give up the ult percentage as long as the time bank continues to drain. Because they say, you know what, even if you do finish the map or if you get into the hangar, whatever. We have done our jobs. We have drained the time bank down. It's already going to be half the time basically gone.
Ults come online that much sooner for the Seoul Dynasty for the most part. There's a Nano.
Dive in from Prophet. Get the Nano on him. Trying to keep him alive, and that Bionade is going to expire. And yeah, Blade be damned, doesn't have it, doesn't need it. 2 kills going to be picked up as both supports end up falling. There's not enough peel options here. A shutdown onto that Genji, so manages to come up with some very nice value. He'll also get MN3 at the end, but Zest is there for the little bit of an alley-oop. Find some revenge, and hey, Zest got a kill.
All right, there we go. His first final blow of the entire map so far. What we got there. Zest, come on. We know you can do this because we've seen him pop off on the other maps. It's going to be Infrasight for Infrasight traded through. Both of our Genjis will have the blade in a hot second, but AimGod has a Nano. Creative has already used his. That will be the advantage. Brilliant opening kill for Zest.
The sleep! Probably got slept as he tried to pull the blade, and MN3 is there for the headshot. That's a major shutdown and one that was desperately needed from the side of the Fusion. It doesn't even cost that many ultimates, Avril. They still hold on to 4. Now the cart can be opened up to push.
Absolutely, but they need to push though because the payload was creeping backwards, and that's kind of the problem, right? They have to go for a secondary fight here, whereas Seoul in the same A push won a single fight and got a free cap. Should be Seoul coming back in a hot second. Smurf has Primal. There's no way they let this one go.
Yep, 1.2 meters left to go. Zest, however, finds another final blow, takes down Prophet. Belisria going to be taking a nap, and this time it's on Fitz to go ahead and get the headshot, which he does.
Whoa.
Zest, however, is starting to come online.
Okay.
It's a couple kills here in the fight, pushes up into Fitz's face. Fitz will put a bullet into his mouth, but now he's got to relocate, jump away as the shots start flying his way. 3 minutes in the time bank here for the side of the Fusion. If they can have a fast attack on the hangar, this is potentially recoverable.
And I saw that as well. Belisria didn't pop the Primal, but then also Smurf did not pop the Primal. I have to wonder, was it a mistake or was that a choice? Technically speaking, Seoul were down 1, but looked like it could have been still maybe holdable. We'll find out now. It's going to have to end up being a B defense. More ultimates coming online for Seoul, but majority of them being held in the hands of the Fusion. They have to wait for MN3. They have to wait for Belisria as well. Seoul Dynasty will now get the full reset on towards the Philadelphia Fusion side, which means for Philly, they're going to have to pretty much, I would say, ult out the gate, but we still have to see this Nanoblade that has to get them across the line. But Smurf's going to be a bully at the front gates as much as possible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been a bully the whole series through. I mean, you think back to the Eichenwalde, the man was just going absolutely crazy on the members of the Fusion. He's looking to replicate that as well as Prophet now. Jumping up over top of the bubble, manages to get that heal, and Vindame will find Zest. He is just his kryptonite, it would seem. Continues to get these eliminations through.
Is this Overwatch 1 break or Overwatch 2 break? What's going on? Is Zest being stunned from Overwatch 1? Probably.
I don't know. I don't know. It seems like Vinay, maybe he's he got into the game code. He's rewritten it a little bit and how this break is going to be playing out.
Hey, Aaron, let me get in that file real quick. Let me get that source code.
Okay, Blade's going to be pulled. There's a sleep dart from Creative. Puts him on the ground. The bio is there. He's going to dash out, manages to make his way out to safety, and actually killed Prophet in transit somehow. I think that was an accident. A happy little one for the side of the Fusion, but the rest of this fight is not happy at all. Smurf is just there. He is cleaning things up. Belisria, he's been holding on to the Primal, just hasn't had a good time to use it. Gets antied out. Creative finds that finish. And this is one of the most notorious unassailable points in Overwatch in escort maps is this hangar here in Gibraltar.
Yeah, it is. Which is why Seoul getting past this in what felt like one attempt was criminal. I mean, again, you love it. You get away with a high Seoul. I mean, that's just bags in hand, duffel bags, clown masks, whatever you want. Just walk out of there. But for the side of Fusion, security guards asleep. Speaking of sleeping, Belisria's copped many of those so far. We need to start seeing this Fusion team walk up. I mean, Seoul's so brash that Smurf's like gone towards the spawn. They backed out now, but time is just being wasted. How can Fusion cap this in time now when we're about to hit the OT? That's the rough part.
Well, double infra sight, so nothing going unseen here by either squad. No surprises in the approach whatsoever. And he goes forward and gets the hit on the Vinheim Prophet, dashing over the top. Now the blade is going to be pulled. Dashes straight through. Aimgod immediately finds that first elimination. Now he dives in with the help of Smurf and looks for a bit more, and they are going to find it. Fixa and Zest taken down. MN3 only able to answer for one, and Smurf is hounding him down. The Primal
Solo
just
Primal.
to kill off the Widowmaker, and Belisria left alone. Primal expired with nowhere to go. The overtime does get forced out, but can they get back in? Belisria jumping forward. Does get the tag yet again to extend. Can they somehow win this fight? Fixa has the rally rolling. He's going to be antsied out, finished out by Prophet, who's then swapped over onto the Tracer. Zest going in desperation towards the Sombra, but Prophet is starting to clean things up. MN3 re-arrives with the Tracer, but is just as quickly taken down. And there you go, the hold inside the hangar. The 3-0 lead, the match point achieved by the Seoul Dynasty as they look for their first championship victory. They just need one more map to get it done.
Fusion would have to now get the reverse sweep. It's looking difficult, Fusion. If there's a time to wake up, it would be now. This is looking like the finals you've always wanted, but at the same time, it's still a nightmare, right? It's a dream to get there, but a nightmare scenario where you're down so many maps. The last meeting of these two teams in the regular season in our qualifier was a 3-0 victory for the Seoul Dynasty. Fusion, time to turn it around. There is still time, but my goodness, that grasp, that grip coming through from Prophet and the rest of the Seoul is iron tight.
Yep. You don't want to have to play out of the Shock, out of the Gladiators playbooks, or not the Gladiators, you know, they're the ones getting reverse swept, I should say, but out of the Shock's playbook,
Shock
having
are the
to
ones
get those
sweeping,
reverse sweeps through. You don't want to be in that position, but unfortunately for the Fusion, that's exactly where they are. They will once more, and potentially for the last time, have their map pick. As we get ready to go into push, we'll see where they decide to take us, whether it's New Queen Street or Coliseum, and see whether or not they can get that map victory, stop themselves from being swept 4-0, and try to engineer the beginnings of a much-needed reverse sweep. The pressure is nigh insurmountable here for the side of the Fusion. You can see everybody gathered up, having a little kumbaya circle, putting their heads together and seeing what they can do to right the ship. We'll turn in just a little bit and see if the Dynasty can take this cleanly or if the Fusion can fight back. And welcome back, guys. Potentially one more map to be played out here in this grand final, the Kickoff Clash. The Seoul Dynasty have been on an absolute tear that the Fusion just have not been able to stand up to. 3-0 the lead now after Watchpoint Gibraltar. And despite having their map picks at their back, it has not benefited the Fusion yet. They are just getting outplayed at every twist and turn. This veteran squad of the Seoul Dynasty, their own rookies, has been looking too damn clean. The question now becomes, can they turn it around? Can they get some wins under their belt as we get ready to go on to New Queen Street?
This is a sort of stage as well where, you know, looking back on some of the statistics from our previous matchup, previous map, Watchpoint Gibraltar, a couple of things become very clear to me. Just the insane pop-up potential with individual plays coming through from a couple of members on the Seoul Dynasty. We all know about Prophet already, but Vindame actually finishes that map with 6 final blows, which is equal to MN3 and Zest both on 6 final blows. So he, as a main support player, got as many final blows as the 2 DPS players on the Fusion side of things, as well as doing just about everything else as well to shut down as many players on Fusion. But ultimately, the best player so far this entire series of all 10 in the server has been Smurf. Undeniably so good. Back-to-back Overwatch League champion, 22 eliminations, 12 final blows, so doubled Vindame, 2 behind Prophet, and only, wait for this one, 2 deaths. 2 deaths for Smurf that entire map while sitting at 22 elims and 12 final blows. Just an incredible performance. Every primal, unbelievable. Yeah, I can't sing the praises of Smurf more. He's in unbelievable form. And you know, we've seen previously Seoul versus Shanghai. Prophet had to kind of put the team in his backpack. It seems like now that we're in the grand finals, the rest of the team is on that same level, on that same page, and that is a Seoul Dynasty that you are frightened to go up against.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Fusion, of course, making the call as we go over to push. This is going to be Carpe's return, stepping in for MN3. Bellisria still going to be playing, though. It seems like they want to stick with the Winston play going into this map. So we'll see how they fare now. But it is a much-needed victory for the Fusion. And even if they get this win, it doesn't get any easier. They still have to win game after game after game to go ahead and pull off a reverse sweep. Dynasty, though, they are fired up. They have never looked more ready in their lives to be able to get this win, to get a tournament win under their belts.
Here's the hopium that the Fusion fans have been waiting for, and this is legitimate. I'm not trolling. There's no memes here. I'm fully serious when I say this. Shanghai Dragons have made the format reverse sweep happen in the past. Melee 2020. Seoul Dynasty. I know this hurts for the Seoul fans, but you are 3-0 up, so you're fine. You'll live. I hope. Maybe. 3-0 up. Shanghai came back 4 maps and reverse sweep. Our first and only ever, I believe, BO7 reverse sweep. So it is possible. Are you telling me there's a chance? Then it is possible. Never tell me the odds. That's 2 different messages from 2 different references. They contradict slightly, but the point is the same. If you have a god, start praying.
Well, we'll see if there is a response as the teams will get loaded up. 20 seconds, those doors are going to open, and battle will commence. Let's see what they have for us. It looks like for now, the side of the Fusion maybe not messing around too much with their picks early on. Could very well be what we see once these doors open. Maybe a swap over to the Reaper, but we'll have to just wait and see.
I'll tell you what as well, this is Fusion banking on the rookie Bellisria as well. No Void to come on in, to be fair. No Fury to come on in. To be fair, Void also lost this map to Smurf just a little bit earlier, so it's not guaranteed the Zarya would get you the win. However, wait, no, I think I'm lying. I think Void did win. In any case, that's my point entirely gone. Achilleos, I don't actually have a point. My point is, maybe you could have seen Fury here, but it's not going to happen. We're going to go for the Winston duel.
Okay, well, that's exactly what you want to see, but maybe not the follow-up there. But Zest, once again, getting the better of Prophet, finds the elimination, but Fitz is there, quick on the reply. Answers back, Helix Rocket's not going to be finding too much of anything there. The bot, for now, going to be conceded by the Dynasty, as Fusion will grab it up and start getting that push going.
The early lead is always important here. First fight win will give you a decent percentage to work with. Fitz on the flank here, and it will work on the Carpe. That's a kill from Creative.
Fitz under some fire, trying to stay alive, pulling back, but Fixit gets in on top of him, but ends up dying for it. Vindame fast to respond. Takes down that enemy, Lucio. The dash forward from Prophet results in the melee kill on Aim God now without any supports. Bellisria is going to be trying to hold the bot in place here as long as he possibly can. maybe make an exit, but no. Jumps over to the side. Prophet will go ahead and scoop up those eliminations as he tries to catch up the Zest's ult charge. The bot now can start pushing for Dynasty.
Yeah, certainly not the biggest lead for the Philly Fusion at all, but certainly something to work through. That 11 meters will be overtaken momentarily. First ult's coming through will be very important. You are really looking at Zest here to see what he can do. As you said, Prophet's not that far behind. As the rest of Seoul Dynasty, look at this. They're taking some high ground cover as well. Fitz will be difficult to dive. Bellatree going to go for it anyway.
And he is. Chunked down to about half HP as Zest once more is trying to corral Prophet, but Fitz will put those Helix rockets right at his feet. Be the elimination, but Prophet trying to chase it on to Fixa. Fixa says, "Ha! You've fallen into my trap." And it's just to take him down, but Aim God dead off screen at the same time. The bot going to continue pushing here for the Dynasty as they start stretching this lead up.
We'll look towards that cap as well. 50, what is it, 7, I believe, is what we're going for. It's about 17 away now. The rest of the ultimates coming on through. The best part about this for Souls, they haven't used ultimates yet. No one's really used ultimates. First few ultimates that are online have not actually been popped in. That includes the Pulse Bomb, so the more that Soul cap without using ultimates, the better it is for Soul.
That is. Bot going to be shifted back into the opposite direction now. It's Zest dashing forward, tries to throw a Pulse Bomb there on to Fitz, but will not find the stick, and now Fitz going to charge the corner. Nano Visor out. Instantly finds Carpe, looks for a little bit more, and he sees many a target sat up here in the corner. Guns down, Fixa, Aim God gone. He will manage to get taken down there in the end by Belzria with a Primal Rage, but I think all the same, Dynasty not going to be too concerned about that as they look for the cleanup. And he does.
I mean, that's a reset no matter what.
But the bot is right back in. It's pushing up towards the checkpoint. Prophet
Usually
going to be taken
though.
down. Yeah, they leap back through. They do stop the bot from pushing any further, but can they take it and can they start gaining some distance themselves? That's the question.
Well, you have to make sure the checkpoint doesn't come on through, because the only way it's winnable with this kind of time remaining, I know there's still about 5 minutes left, but guys, push can be very decided if a lot of actual distance comes on through early. The fact that Bellatree gets a kill, stays alive, and Creative is dead means they can come back and defend the checkpoint. That's what matters at the end of the day. They do lose Carpe, but players are still here with ultimates if they want to contest.
There's a big 3-man anti. Sleep
Good
goes
sleep.
out onto Smurf. Yeah, good reaction
Okay,
there from Aim God, but somebody woke him up, and I think Aim God's going to be pretty darn annoyed about that one. Need to leave the scientist to his slumber. They do not. He ends up getting taken down for it. Many an ultimate available here for the side of the Fusion, though, as Zest has nearly got that next Pulse Bomb ready to go, and that's going to give them 4 ults to work with, but the bot is still sat on their side of the map, and they haven't been able to find too much distance themselves.
Okay. Fusion cannot allow the checkpoint to be made here, so they have to do everything within their power. If the checkpoint happens, it could be disaster. We've seen how difficult it is when you have limited time in the OT to make your own checkpoint cap, and then obviously the bot stalls on the checkpoint as well, which is not ideal. Zest is going to go wide again.
Doesn't manage to find the stick and has to dash back, actually, because he almost got blown up by his own Pulse. Prop in the meantime does find Aim God. Carpe dead to Fitz's hand. Bot shifting back, but they cannot continue to occupy this. Belzria has to try to make his exit, but he cannot, ends up falling.
That's the
it's going to
cap.
be an extended team kill, and that will be the cap, and that is catastrophic for the Fusion.
Especially considering, look at the ultimates for Soul. Soul, again, didn't have to spend anything for that. Fusion are being passive. You got 3 ultimates online. None of it was popped. Aim got dead straight away. Maybe a sound barrier could have saved them. It's hard to say, but there's no primal for Bellatree, but you need to at least swap ultimates. If you beat, then the other team might have to beat as well. You might have to have them use ultimates. The fact that Soul at 5 ults means they can push further.
Oh, Bellatree can't even exit. Now here comes the visor once more. Zest will bop Prophet on the nose there, it seems, but the rest of the team ends up falling to the wayside for the Fusion. Zest trying to make his way out, just hugging these pillars, and the bot is continuing to push now. 75 meters and growing. And the lead is just near insurmountable. So many ults to work with here for the side of the Fusion, but they just are struggling to get into position to actually pop them.
Almost 90. 86 is enough. I mean, it's still going by the way. 88 now, 88.14. Goes from bad to worse a little bit. Nearly 5 ultimates online for Fusion. They need to spread these out and basically win every single fight from here on out. There's about 230 remaining. Fixer dies again. This is disaster.
Yep. No sound barrier in the fight. He gets taken down. The sleep there on a Belzria once more, and as he gets woken up, it's, into a waking nightmare. The rest of his team just dying around him. Zest can't find anything. This bot is not
100
done
meters,
yet. The
100
Dynasty, they do not know the word mercy. They say, we don't care if you're a team full of rookies. We are going to continue to push this into oblivion.
110 even, maybe. They don't care. I mean, the ultimate's finally coming through. Bellatree popping the primal. This is what we've been waiting for. Slept straight away.
And now they're all surrounding him. He's going to try to make his way out. Primal does still last for a couple more seconds. And now, and only now, will the Dynasty say, okay, it's your turn. Go ahead and push. You've got 2 minutes to try to beat us.
It's no time. There's just no time. They need ultimates. They need time. Fusion need everything. They need a miracle. They need a damn 6th player in the team, make it a 6v5. Let's go back to Overwatch 1. They need something here. They have to win every single fight from here on out.
Okay, there's the Nano Carpet trying to push in, but the Anti comes down. He's got 2 HP. Can they finish him off? They finally will. Creative gets right up into his face. Gets him with a melee hit. Fits as well. Getting down and dirty. Finds Aim God. Zest doing his damnedest. Got 2 kills here in the fight, but the rest of the team ends up getting dropped. And just like that, the Dynasty, they managed to clap back. They stopped them from being able to push. The bot is moving once more
By the
in
way,
the direction of the Fusion base.
Smurf and Vindame have not died yet. 0 deaths on Smurf and Vindame. 0. They haven't died. Seoul Dynasty still so far in the lead, 109-13, less than 1 minute. This is guaranteed OT. And Fusion needs to start by at least having the bot in neutral territory. It's not even in the mid-cap yet. Prophet looking for a play. Still waiting for the same sound barrier fixes heads at the start of the map. It's got to have to happen.
Just playing in this alleyway, ready to drop this pulse bomb on anybody who comes a little bit too close. Falls low, but the healing is there. He holds onto the recall as well. He knows he needs that exit strategy for when he lays that ult down. The bot just going to be held, like you said, not even at the midway
30
point.
seconds.
Starting to get shifted back once more. Zest trying to open things up. He sees Prophet. He sees that he's low, but he also knows that he cannot pursue that far in. Tries to go on a flank angle. There is going to be the visor out. Fitz pops and finds Carpe. The beat from Fixa. It does not save their lives. The pulse bomb finds nothing, and that could just be it. Fixa will pick up 1 as Bellisria hits the floor, and with 10 seconds remaining, it seems like they have done it. The bot once more, pushing over towards the Fusion base. And no one can anyone even touch this. I do not believe so. I think that it is just going to come down to this. A final touch from Zest. He does manage to force out the overtime, but it would take an absolute miracle for them to be able to turn this around in overtime. Leap up into the window. They're looking for the contest now. Bellisria jumping forward. The Primal Rage nearly online. Now has it ready to go. Aim God not too far off from having that Nano ready to roll. Bellisria keeps himself in the fight. The Primal going to be popped, but Smurfs does the same. He goes into the back lines. He's looking for the DPS. He's looking for the supports. Decides to contest the bot instead. Bellisria will find Creative. He finds Fitz. Bellisria looking to break things open for them. There's still so far to go, though. The bubble
They have to get this cap now coming on
going
through.
to fall. There's the Nano. Visor nearly up for Carpet. They can start pushing.
Okay, that's the first death so far for Smurf. He is no longer deathless. Vindame was the only deathless player. Sound Barrier coming online soon. Prophet probably not going to go for the touch just yet. They need to wait for the team. A lot of fights ahead. This is going to be a big journey, a mountain to climb, and I better hope we have some climbing gear Fusion. Nano.
There's a Nano onto Carpet just to try to get that Visor ready to roll. He's trying to break through the Winston bubble. Hasn't been able to find too much damage with this ult yet. No kills to speak of. Visor's still not online yet. Beat now to be dropped aggressively here from the side of Inhame. He pulls the trigger on that one, shields up everybody. A nap from Bellisria, taken down. Creative, put him on the floor. They put him in the grave. The pulse bomb from Prophet finds Carpe. And yes, I do believe you are correct. Zest answers back with 1 last kill, but the OT will bleed down ever so quickly. And they absolutely dominate their way to a championship win here in the Kickoff Clash. The Seoul Dynasty will take this final 4-0.
3 finals it took for the Seoul Dynasty, but they have finally got their first ever title in Overwatch League history for this franchise. Long have they waited. This was the roster, this was the team, this is the year. 2-time champion Smurf to carry the way. Prodigy, main support rookie in Vindame. Creative having to fill in for Jonag after leaving the team. Fitz has been waiting for this moment his entire career as well. So many of these players. Prophet, let's talk about him next. It's been so long since Prophet has had his own chip. Not since the inaugural season, you're right. He won the first stage, won the grand finals, and since then, it's been all quiet. And now, the haters are silenced, doubts are put to the side. They said that a head coach, Toby, couldn't make this team good. Well, you're wrong. This team is now a championship team.
That they are, and they finally have delivered on it. A vindication for these players, for the coach, for the entire organization, and the fans. Dynasty are, in fact, a team that you can, with some relative safety, cheer for, it would seem. They are our Kickoff Clash champions. The Fusion, unfortunately, put into second place once more by Prophet. But I gotta say, as much as we are celebrating this massive moment for the side of the Dynasty, this is still, I think, a great showing for the Fusion. This is not the final that they were looking for. It's not the final that we were hoping for. They are unable to pick up any maps. But this beginning to the 2022 season overall, I think is a good showing for the Fusion. They made it into the grand final with a bunch of rookies, Carpe and Aim God. They get there, and I think that they could still and should still hold their heads high, and I hope that the fans, in typical Philly fashion, do not go burning down the street. They don't go flipping cars and climbing telephone poles. I hope that they will just sit back and continue to cheer for these teams and realize I hope that they really just realize how much promise there is behind this squad with some more time. We saw them rebound after the hot start. They start falling off. They come back through. They make a great run in this event. I hope that people continue to cheer for them because there is so much promise. There's so much potential in this squad, and Philly overall is great at extracting that. So I still have faith in this team to do great things in the future.
Absolutely. I think, there's definitely some sadness out there, but remember, it's taken an entire year or more to get to the stage again. Same thing for Seoul. I mean, both franchises, both fan bases wanted this. Inevitably, one side was going to have to lose and be sad about it, and the other side was going to have something to celebrate for the first time. So at the end of the day, I think both fan bases can look at the other one and say, okay, we feel your pain, we know what it's like, and at some level, you could be happy that the other side managed to get that win today. If it wasn't us, then it should be them kind of deal coming on through is what I would like to see, just because I know how Seoul and Fusion, both teams, both franchises have fought so hard to get to the stage with so much, failure and hurdles and barricades in the way. Finally, one of our two teams were going to punch it through. So, I'm just so happy that this ended up being the finals because I knew that somebody was going to have to win. But Seoul, they're the team that have the veterancy in every single position. Toby as well proving himself when people doubted him so much. Shame on you, by the way. And Seoul Dynasty now, off the back of everybody, but, especially Prophet, who delivered them here into the finals after his insanely good performance versus the Dragons, right? They slay the Dragons, they topple the Fusion, and now finally Seoul can have their Dynasty. Finally Seoul, with their namesake, can kick off their real Dynasty. Prophet will once again be our player of the match. Deservedly so. I don't want to hear it. Prophet play the match again. Yeah, because he is the reason they got here in the first place.
I mean, so very true. I think there's a very concise argument that you can make for Smurf, who, like you said, you died so few times on that last map in particular, and the whole way throughout this matchup was just wreaking havoc in the back lines. I mean, you could tell that this was an absolute veteran and one of the best Winstons in the world versus an up-and-coming rookie here. That very much kind of got exposed in this matchup because Smurf was just really running the lobby. But
he was smurfing.
Prophet is right there. He's constantly backing Smurf up on those dives or vice versa to be able to come up with these massive kills, these massive explosions of death against the Philly Fusion. And Prophet will be walking away with it. I mean, head held high. This has got to feel so good for him. And when we saw him in happy tears after finally besting the Shanghai Dragons, I wonder how he feels now getting the Grand Finals victory here in the Kickoff Clash, as well as being the double player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Finals MVP in 2018 as well. I think legitimately, I'm not even joking when I say that Seoul wouldn't have been here without Prophet. They wouldn't have made it this far without Prophet. This is the horse that got you here, and honestly deserves a well and truly earned rest now for basically having to play two back-to-back, well, the entire team really playing two back-to-back matches there. In some ways, you could even say, they play the Grand Finals and they play the other Grand Finals, because it felt like the match versus Shanghai could have been a Grand Finals as well. It was that close, it was that difficult, it required that much effort. So for Seoul to get through that, they come through here with such fire in their bellies, 4-0, that kind of dominance. I mean, so happy for Seoul Dynasty, because even last year when we casted them, Seth, in 2021, it felt like they got close. It felt like they were nearly there. They got bested by Fusion in the East play-ins towards the end of the season, and they never made the playoffs. But this is a team that got so close, but yet it was so far. And now they have it firmly in their grasp, that trophy, that title, that chip, the respect, everything.
Yeah, and I mean, now, if you're a Dynasty fan, you just got to have the hope that this level maintains and that this isn't just a flash in the pan here at the beginning of the 2022 season, because I know that they've been spurned many a time. But I think that, yes, this is finally a year, finally a season where the Dynasty are looking like a real contender. It looks like they may very well be able to go on during the end-of-season playoffs and make a real run for the title. But it's still so close. I mean, you think about it going to Game 5 versus the Shanghai Dragons, they're still going to be in contention. The Fusion are going to be looking to continue to improve and bounce back after this loss. If there's anything, I think, to light a fire under the ass of a rookie squad, it's going to be getting 0-4'd in your first grand final. So for all of those players, I think that they are going to come back and look so very hungry in the next stage here in the 2022 season, because you don't want to settle for that. You don't want that second place. No. You want to continue to climb. Grand finals, again, in the first outing. Already a fantastic start to the season. It's about continuing upward. Next time you make it to a grand finals, you know, if taking maps, already a positive step, if not winning it. That's what they're going to be looking for. So I'm excited to see the continued growth of the APAC region, because it has been so close between pretty much all of the teams. You know, even the Valiant pushing some teams to the limit, the Charge. You know, there's things to work on for sure for those squads down near the bottom of the barrel, but overall, it feels like this is the closest that we've had it in so very long.
And, you know, as cheesy as this sounds, you know, I think losing here builds character for the Fusion, for the rookies. Look, I know Carpe, unfortunately, has to cop another L, which is not great for him. But for the rest of the rookies, they probably need this. They need, like you said, to get a bit of a fire behind them to push them further. They need to taste this level of defeat at this sort of level to get that motivation. Not that they're not motivated, but to sort of just have that, you know, that character building, that arc building phase to get to the next stage and have that performance again. I definitely don't think this will be the last we see of Fusion. Although that being said, Dragons will certainly be angry, fired up themselves, ready for the next tournament. That will be yet another hurdle for every single team. So Seoul and Fusion got past Dragons this time around. I can't wait to see what Dragons does in the next stage forward, and Seoul are going to end up being the ones defending their title for the next stage as well. So that'll be very exciting times for the Eastern Division moving forward.
It's only going to get tougher from here for all of these teams, for the Dynasty trying to defend, for, you know, Shanghai trying to claim their spot once more into the grand finals of these tournaments. Every team, you know, no one is really going to be walking away with free wins here. Like I said, everything so very tight-knit between everybody. But guys, that basically does it. So I got to say congratulations, Avril, on your first Overwatch League grand final here. And it was a pleasure to have you alongside me, of course. And hopefully next time it won't be a 4-0. Hopefully it'll be a little bit closer. And who knows, maybe it'll be a rematch between these two squads. But guys, that's going to do it from us here in the APAC region. NA, of course, is going to be concluding later today. So make sure you set your alarms, get your little nappies in like Bells Rio was doing earlier on. And make sure you're well rested to watch those matches, because they are sure to be absolute bangers as well. From myself, from Avril, from all of the production team here on the APAC broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. And we will see you when APAC returns. Good night.